right, so today we're talking about multiplying decimals. One of the vocabulary words that we want to add is algorithm. We've talked about algorithm already this year multiple times. We've been using it. You might not have realized it. An algorithm, does anyone know what it is? Any ideas, Kayla? The way that you do the math. So an algorithm, we're going to break it down a little bit more. It's a step-by-step process. Step-by-step process, which is exactly what Kayla said, is the way you do something. Step-by-step process to solve a problem. And the great thing about these steps is for it to be considered an algorithm, these steps have to work every time. Alright? So like Kayla said, it's the way you do the math. It's the way you do the math. So like when I add, I'm going to add the same way every time, right? And I'm always going to get the right answer. Unless I make a mistake. Same thing with subtracting. That borrowing technique is going to work every time. Alright, so let's put a little star here and even put works, if I can spell, every time. That's the key thing. Just because it's the way you do something, it might not be an algorithm unless it's going to work all the time. Alright, multiplying decimals, the algorithm to multiply, we're still going to use that. So when we multiplied whole numbers, we had that little zero as a placeholder. We did one line, then we did the next line with our zero, the next line with 2 zeros, the next line with 3 zeros. Okay, we're going to use the same exact technique. Multiplying decimals, what did our means say? Do I need to line them up? No. So we're going to make sure we put on here, do not, like big, capital, not, underline, not, do not line up the decimals. Yesterday it was all about line them up. Today, nope. Alright, and the way I'm going to show you to do the multiplication might be a little bit different than you've done it in the past. Alright, if I don't want to line up the decimals, do I even care about the decimals? Not until the very end. So what you're going to see when I start writing my math is I don't even put the decimals in there. Because they just get in my way. And then sometimes I think it's a comma, or I think it's like a 1, or it just gets in my way. So I just leave it out until the very end. Alright? It is what? It is a 1. Tenths place. The number behind it is the tenths place, right? Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, I've never heard it called that before. We're just going to call it the decimal. We're going to leave it off. All right, so guys, you can see this 1, 2, 3. Those are our steps. First step says, what does it say? Delaney, what's the first step say?
Place the longer number on top.
Place the longer number. Did I say bigger number? Larger number? The longer number. So right now, which one of these is longer? Josh?
1.58.
1.58. Is it bigger?
No. It's smaller.
It's definitely a smaller number, but it is longer, which means it has more numbers in it. We want that one to go on top because that has to multiply 3 times on the 1.58. The 9.7, how many things do I have to multiply?
2.
Just 2. So that's going to be easier to be on the bottom. All right, so let's put our 1.58 on the top. And watch the way I write that. I'm just going to put 1, 5, 8. Didn't even write the decimal. Because what happens, I've noticed, is once I start writing the decimal, I start trying to put them in a line. Do we want that? So I'm just going to leave it out. All right, what's going to go on the bottom? 9.7. And again, I'm just going to leave that out. I'm just going to put 9 and 7. Okay? If I don't write the decimal, can I put it in a line? No, I just saved myself a possible mistake. All right. 7 times 8. We're just going to do our regular multiplication. All right, Macy, walk me through it real quick. 7 times 8? Okay, carry my 5. Then what do we get? 35 plus the 5 gives me 40. Very good. And then? 7 times 1 plus the 4, 11. Very good. Perfect. All right, so I'm done with those. Just regular multiplication. Before I start multiplying the next one, what do I need to do, Aiden? Add that 0. Just like our algorithm we've been using all last week that y'all already had a test on. All right, so I know you can do it. All right, multiplying the 9. Who can walk me through that one? Christy, go through it real quick. 9 times 8 gives me? 72. I'm going to carry the 7. Then what do I get? 50. 45 plus the 7 gives me 52. Awesome. And it's hard to do math when you're put on the spot. And then my 9 times 1 gives me 9 plus the 5, 14. Perfect. Now laugh. I'm telling you, I make mistakes all the time up here because it's hard when everyone's looking at you like, do the math. Okay. All right. So let's add that up. 6 and 0. 6. 0 and 2. 2. 1 and 2.
3.
1 and 4. 1. Okay. All right. So we put the longer number on top. It said multiply using the standard algorithm. That's what we just did. We multiplied like regular. And then it says number 3. Move the decimal over the number of digits behind the decimal in the problem. So Brianna, how many places am I moving it? 3, because I have 1 number behind the decimal, 2, and 3. So I'm going to take it, pretend it's at the very end of the number, and I'm going to move it over. 1, 2, 3. If there are 3 numbers behind the decimal in the problem, I should have 3 numbers behind it in my answer. Do I have 3?
Yes.
So are we good? All right, awesome job. All coming back to us. It is for Chris. I know that. All right, awesome. All right, number 1 on my example. I keep forgetting to move this down. All right, on the next problem. Which one's longer?
0.007.
It's longer? That has 4 numbers. How many does the other one have? 4 numbers. Okay, so they're the same length, right?
It doesn't matter.
So it doesn't really matter which one we put. I can put whichever one I want. Which one, like if I think about like the smart way to do this, or let me rephrase that, the easier way. Let's try to keep our life a little easy. Connor, what are you thinking? What would make this a little easier? Why would I want all those zeros with the 7 on the bottom? Perfect. 0 times anything is 0. So I have to multiply all those zeros. No, so I like what Connor said. We can put that one on the bottom because it's less to have to multiply. So we'll put our 13.95. Again, I'm leaving that decimal out, so just 1395 on top. I'm going to put 0, 0, 0, 7 on the bottom. All right, you'll notice I am lining up my numbers because we line up our numbers when we multiply typically. Okay, just not worrying about the decimal right now. Owen, can you walk me through that multiplication?
7 times 5.
Okay, gives me
35.
carry in my 3. Now what?
9 times 7 is 63. Plus 3 is 66.
Perfect. Carry my 6.
7 times 3 is 21. Plus 6 is 27.
Perfect. Carry my 2.
And 7 times 1 is 7. Plus 2 is 9.
Excellent. Plus the 2 gives me 9. All right, so I get 9765. All right. Connor said originally that we don't have to multiply those zeros because it's just going to give me a bunch of zeros. All right. So now let's worry about our decimal because this is decimal, so I got to have one in my answer. How many numbers should be behind that decimal, Macy? 5, because I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 numbers behind the decimal, but I only have 4 numbers here. So what does that mean I need to do, Chandler? Put a 0 here? No, because remember we count over, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that empty spot that we have. Like Chandler said, we're going to put a 0 there. And it's going to go in the front. We don't want to add zeros to the end because they don't really do anything at the end. Okay. All right, good job. Are we good on number 1? All right, number 2. Let me see you do it. You set it up. Set it up. What number are we going to put on top? What number do you want to put on top? Raise your hand. What number do you want to put on top, Danny? 798 sounds good to go on top. So that other one has a 0. I like that idea. Looks like a lot of us are setting them up with the decimals without writing them in there. That's absolutely fine. Obviously, I like doing it that way. If you want the decimals there, you can write them in. That's still possible. And sometimes they are going to line up. That's fine. Sometimes we just don't have to make them like that. Okay? That's an 8. 798. That's going to change it up some. So you're always going to start at the end and go. You forgot your 0. Wait, hold on. All right, so I'm going to write mine up here. Looking around, it looks like some of us are finishing up. We're about halfway through. All right, 0. Some of us are completely done. Okay, so there we go. I've got mine set up. I left the decimal out because I don't care about it right now. All right, on that first line, 5 times 8 is 40. Be very careful with that. 5 times 9?
45.
45 plus the 4?
49.
49. Carry my 4 again. 5 times 7?
35.
Plus the 4?
39.
39. Put my 0 as a placeholder. 6 times 8?
48.
48. That's an 8. Carry my 4. 6 times 9?
54.
54 plus the 4?
58.
58. Carry my 5. 6 times 7?
42.
42 plus the 5?
47.
47. Thank you. I was fixing to write 49, so I'm glad I got y'all out there working it for me. All right, 0 and 0. 9 and 8. 17. 9 and 8 plus that 1 that I'm carrying. 18. Carry the 1. 3 and 7 and the 1. 11. Carry the 1 and 1 and 4. 1, 4, 5. All right. How many numbers do I need to put behind the decimal, Connor? 2. All right. So I'm starting from the end. I'm going over 2 places. When I put my decimal there, do I have 2 numbers behind that dot?
Yes.
Yes. Guys, there's actually another way I can write that answer. What's the other way I could write my answer down? Jenny? 518 and just the 7/10. So just the 7 without the 0. For right now, guys, I want to skip the right answer. I'm good with leaving the 0. As we get better at this, we simplify fractions, right? You can't just leave them big. We are going to simplify decimals. Which one of these is simpler looking? With the 0 or without? Without. So I would call this a simplified decimal because it's a simpler way of writing the same thing. Okay? For right now, get that right answer. We're going to add this on there as we get more comfortable with it. Okay? All right, I'm going to pass out our homework. What number is your homework?
13.
13.